Hello, welcome back to the Linghe Daily channel. This time, we'll be discussing a moment that may seem simple, but it has many fans rekindling their interest in the interaction between Zhou and Zhang Linghe. While the two were on stage, a brief conversation they had in front of the host and audience caught their attention. There was no official statement regarding any special relationship, and we shouldn't take every exchange as proof of anything. However, precisely because the moment happened so openly, their expressions, responses, and the atmosphere between them made some fans start to wonder. Why was the conversation so compelling? Why did the host seem to notice something? And why, after that moment, did the public's attention turn even more toward the two? This is what made this brief interaction become a new topic of conversation among fans. Today, we'll examine the moment from a more relaxed perspective, paying attention to the visible details and separating the actual facts from the fan interpretations. What made this situation interesting was the host's position, who was so close to the conversation. In these types of shows, each sentence usually has a predetermined flow. The host asks a question, the artist answers, and then the conversation moves on to the next part. But when Zhou and Zhang Linghe began to interact on stage, the atmosphere felt a little more spontaneous. There were moments when attention was drawn not only to the main question, but also to how the two responded to each other. To the casual viewer, it might have seemed like a casual conversation between two colleagues who already knew each other. But for fans who have followed their careers, even the slightest change in expression was certainly captivating. The host, who witnessed the conversation live, made the moment even more striking, as the responses weren't taking place in a private or hidden setting, but in front of a large audience. This sparked various speculations. Some fans considered the interaction a natural closeness and comfort, while others chose to see it as part of the professional chemistry that develops when two actors have worked together for a long time. Then, attention began to turn to the way Zhang Linghe responded to Zhou. There was something about the conversation that made fans feel like it wasn't awkward. Zhang Linghe seemed to follow the flow of the conversation, responding and maintaining a light-hearted atmosphere. Zhou also seemed able to ease the conversation into a more relaxed atmosphere. Again, this doesn't automatically mean there's a romantic relationship between them. Two people who have known each other in the entertainment industry can indeed appear very comfortable on stage. Even strong on-camera chemistry can be formed from experience working together, mutual respect, and the ability to read each other's responses. But precisely because they possess these abilities, it's easier for viewers to sense a certain connection. This is where the line between fact and interpretation becomes crucial. The facts are that they are talking, responding to each other, and creating captivating moments. However, conclusions about the meaning of their relationship are uncertain based on just one conversation. And perhaps this uncertainty is what makes the moment feel even more mysterious. Another thing that intrigues fans is the presence of the host as a direct witness. Imagine the situation. In the middle of a show that should have a structured flow, a conversation between two stars suddenly begins that feels more spontaneous. The host must navigate the flow of the conversation without making the atmosphere awkward. From the audience's perspective, the host's subtle reactions can then be seen as additional clues. Some read her expression as curiosity, others see it as merely a professional response, and still others feel like the host is deliberately giving Zhou and Zhang Linghe space to continue their conversation. But again, we must be careful. A person's expressions on stage don't always have hidden meanings. A host is indeed required to read the situation and keep the conversation flowing. So, rather than saying that the host knows something the public doesn't, it's more accurate to say that their presence makes the interaction more visible and easier for the audience to observe. Then comes the question that most fans are curious about. How could this simple conversation spark a new rumor? The answer may not be a single surprising statement, but rather a combination of many small details. The way they stand, the direction of their attention when speaking, spontaneous responses, and even a shift in atmosphere within seconds can make an interaction feel different. In the entertainment world, moments like this often become topics of conversation because fans have a keen attention to detail. Furthermore, when two actors are highly popular and have previously garnered public attention through their work, any encounter becomes even more likely to attract attention. From a short video, clips emerge. From these clips, fan analysis emerges. This analysis then evolves into various theories on social media. In the process, what initially seemed like a simple moment can take on a much larger narrative. Therefore, the rumors that arise should still be viewed as fan speculation, not as confirmation of their personal lives. Interestingly, the lack of overly explicit explanations from either party further fuels public curiosity. In some situations, when an artist provides a lengthy clarification, the public's attention can quickly cease because all questions have been answered. But when a moment is allowed to unfold naturally without further explanation, fans have room to interpret what they see. This seems to be the case with Zhou and Zhang Linghe's interaction. There's no reason to turn a brief conversation into something bigger than it is. But at the same time, we can't ignore the fact that their chemistry is indeed captivating. Perhaps for them, the conversation is simply part of the show. Or perhaps they're simply comfortable enough to joke around and interact spontaneously. Whatever the answer, one thing is clear. The camera captured a moment that became a topic of discussion. And when a moment manages to make so many people stop, rewind, and pay attention to the details, there's certainly something interesting about the dynamic. For fans of both Zhang Linghe and Zhou, the most interesting part isn't actually proving the rumors, but rather watching how these two actors develop and interact over the course of their careers. While they have distinct personalities, these differences can make their conversations engaging. Zhang Linghe often gives off a calm and collected impression, while Zhou is able to bring a more spontaneous energy to various situations. When two different characters are on stage, their responses can create a dynamic that's easy to notice. This is what fans often refer to as chemistry. But chemistry doesn't always mean a romantic relationship. It can mean compatibility at work, the ability to hold a conversation, comfort in front of the camera, or simply a natural-looking friendship. Therefore, we can enjoy their moments without rushing to conclusions. Instead, by not rushing to label them, we can view their interactions more objectively and appreciate them both as individuals and as actors. And perhaps the biggest question isn't whether Zhou and Zhang Linghe's conversation actually holds something, but why such a small moment can create such intense curiosity. The answer lies in the details not directly explained. A gaze that lingers a little longer, a quick response, a small smile upon hearing something, or even a brief pause before answering can leave viewers with the feeling that there's an unfinished story. But such details still have many possible interpretations. Therefore, we should enjoy the mystery without turning conjecture into fact. What's seen in front of the camera is two people experiencing an event and talking to each other. The rest is the interpretation of those watching. And that's precisely where the charm of this moment lies. There were no major confirmations, no dramatic statements, but there was enough conversation to keep fans engaged. For some, it might have been just a few seconds. But for others, those few seconds felt like a small part of a much longer story. So, did Zhou and Zhang Linghe's onstage conversation really hold any special significance? As of now, we don't have enough evidence to say so. All we can be sure of is that the two shared an interaction that seemed natural and successful. It captured the audience's attention, while the presence of the host made the moment even easier to observe. Rumors that surfaced afterward remain just that. Rumors and fan interpretations shouldn't be taken as facts regarding their private lives. Yet, precisely because there is no definitive answer, the moment leaves room for curiosity. Was it merely professional chemistry? Do they share a close friendship? Or was it nothing more than a spontaneous on-stage conversation? Only they truly know the answer. For now, let's simply enjoy the moment as part of these two talented actors' career journeys without jumping to unproven conclusions. If you felt their interaction this time was different, share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to Linghe Daily, turn on notifications, and stay updated on the latest news about Zhang Linghe, Zhou, and other exciting moments. See you in the next video, and as always, we'll keep an eye on every detail, because sometimes a single brief conversation is enough to get the whole internet wondering.